We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Hello and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marquez. I caught up with Matchbox 20 lead singer Rob Thomas, who is playing the Hollywood Bowl for the very first time. We take a look back at memories, the songs that have stood the test of time, and how they came up with the band's name.
She said it's cold outside and she hands me my raincoat.
Matchbox 20 is on the road for their spring summer slow dream tour, and their 5th studio album, Where the Light Goes, drops May 26th. The band first got together back in 1995.
We had a record deal before we had a name, and so we needed to come up with one fast, and we were at some bar and a guy had a jersey on with a 20 and some patches, and one of the patches said Matchbox. And we were just like, Matchbox 20, that sounds like a band. And now we're stuck with it.
You help me, I'm bent, I'm so scared that I'll never get put back together. Keep breaking me in.
They rose to international fame with their debut album, Yourself or Someone Like You, and had a string of hits.
So many songs. Like, all of these songs are related to a different time of my life, emotion. What is it like when you think of your career and just how much you've meant to so many people?
It's an amazing gift, I think, to be able to have been around this long, to go through so many different iterations of what the band is and the kind of music that we're making, and still somehow, you know, like our last record, we have a song in there called Overjoyed, and so many people talk about how that was their wedding song that they walked down the aisle to.
Maybe let me hold you, baby. Let me come over, I will tell you secrets nobody knows.
Like, I love the idea that these songs are a part of people's lives in the same way that other people's music is a part of my life, you know? That's the true gift, is if you can be a part of somebody's Saturday night and somebody's Sunday morning on their radio, like that's a good spot to be in.
Maybe you'll find something that's enough to keep you. But if the bright lights
If there's one song that kind of always comes back, I think Bright Lights has always been like the song that we love. It's kind of like the quintessential live Matchbox song. But you know, some people might think Push.
yeah, we just might feel good. I wanna push you around. Well, I will.
We used to, Paul and I, back when I was single, we used to live at the Village, but behind the Viper Room. And so we lived at the Viper Room. Like, we would spend all of our, you know, like every night in that little office with Sal, watching the camera and watching people come in and, like, you know, don't let him in. Don't let that guy in. Here, as he goes by, when he goes by, touch him. Just touch him. When he goes by, just touch him. Like, it was a good time. And there was a lot of people, you know, that was back, you know, a lot of those of my friends from that era, you know, Adam Duritz and Jake Dillon and all those people, you know, like that was just kind of the spot where everybody would meet up.
She said, I don't know why you ever would lie to me. Like I'm a little untrusting when I think that the truth is gonna hurt you.
Matchbox 20 has headlined venues all over the world, but this is their first concert at the famous Hollywood Bowl.
Hollywood Bowl, man, this is it. Just because we've always wanted to see Matchbox 20 live at the Hollywood Bowl. Like that's one of those posters that I want up in my studio, you know?
Oh yeah, and they make great posters for those concerts.
Yeah,
So,
I thought I was gonna have to fake one. I mean,
like hire a graphic designer.
Make one, yeah. And this is a really big deal for us. My son is actually gonna open the show. He's gonna be the first, his band's gonna play first. And so technically, he gets to play the Hollywood Bowl before I do.
And you know what? That's nice, because Dad's done most of the first in the family.
Yeah, well, he gets this one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Josh Duhamel tells me it did not feel like work making a sequel to his brotastic, hilarious comedy Buddy Games, now playing in theaters. In Buddy Games' Spring Awakening, when they lose one of their own, they still the urn and return to the place where the Buddy Games began.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Neither can I feel like I just saw him.
Yeah, he just called me last week. It was a butt dial, but Still.
When tragedy strikes and one of your closest friends passes away, you honor them the best way you can. But it turns out the way they are choosing to do it is popular with others.
What are we gonna do with these ashes? Where was Durfee the happiest?
Easy. Harrison.
It's perfect, you know, you think about it, that is where it all began.
Oh my God, it's spring break.
Josh Duhamel, who plays the Bob father in the film, produced this Buddy Games continuation, bringing out the old crew again. Is it like how Adam Sandler has his crew? You guys are just going to have this incredible life making fun movies?
That would be ideal. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and, you know, at this point, it's like I want to work with people that I really like being around because I'm going to spend a lot of time with them. Guys that I can trust, that I know are going to come and give 100% and more. I mean, these guys not only do what's on the page, but they bring so much more. Very fortunate for that because it could have gone the other way quickly. And so,
especially if you have a partier who can't focus, right?
It's true. I mean, you need guys who you know are going to show up, and these guys do. And they all have their own brand of comedy. But it all seems to work well together. You know, like one guy's not off doing a different movie. They are all kind of in the same movie, but real characters within it.
And if you think they're just acting, think again. This friendship is real off camera.
For me, joining this movie was a no-brainer. Josh was like, do you want to do this? And I went, yes, when? And he said, well, Sunday. And I went, I'm in. And they sent me the script, and I read a sentence and said, I'm in. So when the second one came around, there was no hesitation. I had such a great time with these guys on the first one. There was no way I wasn't going to do another. I'm ready to do 3, 4, and 5 now.
Watch out, Adam Sandler. There's a new group of friends in town. In theaters now and released June 2nd on digital.
Oh my God!
Okay, now you're about to see Tom Cruise tackle the most dangerous stunt of his entire career, a motorcycle jump off of a cliff into a base jump. He underwent a year of base training and advanced skydive training to prepare for it. It's all in anticipation of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Ethan, what's your objective? What's your ultimate objective?
Can you believe this guy? He does all of his own stunts, and he did that first one 6 times in one day to get the perfect shot after completing more than 500 skydives and 13,000 motocross jumps in training. In this 7th Mission Impossible movie, it'll come out July 12th. Apple dominates the smartphone market now, but another company paved the way for the iPhone. Do you remember the Blackberry? You didn't even have to look at the keyboard. I remember I knew the spot of every single letter. And there's a new movie that will bring back all the memories.
Picture a cell phone and an email machine all in one thing. There is a free wireless internet signal all across North America, and nobody has figured out how to use it.
The unlikely and relatively unknown story of the world's first widely used smartphone hits the big screen in Blackberry.
What do you call it?
It's called a Blackberry.
Huh.
Try typing with your thumbs.
Most people don't really know the story behind Blackberry. It's one of the rare things that had such a cultural impact that people don't know the backstory.
Glenn Howerton says he was fascinated by the characters.
The complete dynamic difference between Mike and Jim. That was all the most interesting stuff about it to me.
We are in a race to get this thing to market, and we are a year behind. I need a prototype.
I'll do it perfectly, or I don't do it.
Mike, are you familiar with the saying, perfect is the enemy of good?
Well, good enough is the enemy of humanity.
Jay Baruchel says he was still using his Blackberry when director and co-star Matt Johnson pitched him the movie.
He was like, I want to make a movie about the Blackberry guys. Do you think you'd want to be one of them? And I pulled a friggin' Blackberry out of my pocket.
You guys have no idea how to run a company. I created this entire market.
Behind every sort of quantum leap, right, is a guy or a girl that you might not have heard of.
You said they were the best engineers in the world.
I said they're the best engineers in Canada.
Only in Cali where we riot, not rally to live and die. In LA we wear chucks, not valleys. Yeah, that's right.
Now, we all know California knows how to party, and now California is showing Tupac some love. A street in Oakland will be named after the late hip-hop legend after a unanimous vote by the city council. A stretch of MacArthur Boulevard where Tupac once lived will be renamed Tupac Shakur Way. The rapper got his first break in 1991 as a member of Digital Underground and credits his time in the area as the place where he got his game. Indiana Jones was brought to tears in France. Actor Harrison Ford was visibly emotional while accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Cannes Film Festival. Ford said he was very touched and that a great part of his life just flashed before his eyes when he received the award. He was also brought to tears after a 5-minute standing ovation after the screening of his latest indie movie. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny comes out June 30th. Rihanna posted these maternity photos on her socials, standing on a balcony in a tropical location wearing gold body jewelry, half a bikini and heels, proudly showing off her baby bump. She captioned it, "Baby Rizza, he's in there not having a clue how nuts his mama is or how obsessed he's about to make me." All moms can relate. And when we come back, how the writer's strike is affecting Hollywood and Broadway. Welcome back to The Lot. We took a tour inside the Paramount Showcase in Hollywood to celebrate some of your favorite shows and Emmy contenders. You can step inside your favorite Paramount shows inside an interactive space at the Hollywood Athletic Club. The Paramount Showcase offers fans an immersive experience with themed installations and unique programming inspired by hit shows from Comedy Central, MTV, Paramount Plus, the Paramount Network, and Showtime. Saddle up to the bar at the 1923 Experience and explore the series' costumes and props. Live like a Dutton in Yellowstone's iconic Great Room.
Jessica Chastain, Michael Shannon show.
Spend time in the studio sampling original vocals from George and Tammy. Tour the hallways of Rydell High from Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies. And take a peek inside of their lockers to get a view of the show's props.
Start filming in selfie mode. Yeah, put it in there.
Okay, it's filming.
Perfect. And then just settle in.
Don't forget your phone to record your own epic social media video and recruit your own crew at Tulsa King's Bread to Buck Saloon.
I want money.
Fans can slay their own workroom entrance at the RuPaul's Drag Race vignette. For Star Trek Picard, visit the 10 Forward Bar, Jean-Luc Picard's preferred place to meet and relax with his legendary crew. And introducing the next round of guest hosts. Attendees will have their chance to take a seat behind the Daily Show's iconic desk. Oscar, Emmy, and SAG Award winner Patricia Arquette is back with a new series set in the California desert.
We supported you while Mommy was here, but ain't happening anymore.
I told you, I'm a private investigator now.
Patricia Arquette is an on-again, off-again addict trying to change her life in high desert.
I'm about to make some serious bank. I was working. They'll read about it soon.
This sounds like one of those crazy things you're trying between rehabs.
You don't think things are going to change that fast. But they do.
These are the stupidest criminals I've ever seen. I mean, are they really trying to do this? This is insane.
Because the writing was so good, the spontaneity was coming out of already this really good writing.
I worry that the next time I come out here is going to be for my sister's funeral.
Fire in the hole!
Stuart and Diane, I think we are the lens through which the audience is watching this.
We've grown up with her, right? She has continually put us through these bizarre situations. So we're kind of, I think, like our inner monologue was constantly like, here we go again, you know?
Have you met me? You think I'd leave $1,500 on the table?
You read the script and you realize, gosh, this is one of the best things I've ever read. It's so original. It's so irreverent while having this beautiful heart running through it.
You're just gonna have to hustle. I need a hustle.
I read it and I thought it was bonkers. But then actually seeing it, it's even more bonkers when it's actually in front of you.
If you're lucky enough to be in a scene with Patricia Arquette and Matt Dillon and Bernadette Peters, as I was, that you just have no bets on where that's going to go. It's just like, let's just roll the dice.
She just tapped into this old kind of punk rock
rebel outlaw thing in the desert. I was like telling the camera people, don't worry, you're not gonna know where she's gonna go. Just do your best, keep up with her.
You're a phoenix, baby.
I know.
A new documentary explores the life of the late model Anna Nicole Smith. The Netflix documentary, Anna Nicole Smith, You Don't Know Me, reveals the person behind the personality.
Hi, it's me, Anna Nicole. I'm a whisper. I would just advise people just to follow their dreams. They can come true. I'm living proof.
Anna Nicole Smith has died.
Never before seen footage, home videos, and interviews tell the late model's story, from her childhood to her death in 2007 at the age of 39. The model and Playboy centerfold, best known for marrying an octogenarian billionaire, lived a life of much publicized excess before losing it all. But the documentary aims to provide a more well-rounded idea of who she was. Anna Nicole Smith, You Don't Know Me, is streaming now on Netflix. More fallout from the Hollywood shutdown as the writer's strike enters its fourth week with no new talks scheduled.
Everybody say yeah! Yeah, boy!
There was lots of star power along the Hollywood writers' picket line in Burbank outside of Warner Brothers Studios on Thursday. Rap legend Flava Flav delivered pizza, burgers, and fries to picketers. The Screen Actors Guild has also recommended its members approve a strike authorization vote. The Actors Union is preparing to negotiate for a new labor contract with the studios on June 7th. They're hoping to gain leverage because the Directors Guild is also in contract talks. The daytime Emmys are also now postponed. The award ceremony had been set for June 16th in downtown Los Angeles. Organizers hope to reschedule at a later date. That show is just the latest to be impacted by the WGA strike. Earlier this month, the MTV Movie and TV Awards show was scrubbed and replaced with a pre-taped special. Well, some good news. The Tonys will go on next month. The WGA says it won't picket at the New York ceremony as long as some changes are made. The New York Times reports there will be awards and live performances, but no material written by screenwriters. You can watch the Tonys on CBS Los Angeles, that's Channel 2 in LA at 5 p.m. June 11th, and also streaming nationwide on Paramount Plus. Seth MacFarlane, who created the hit animated TV show Family Guy, has quit until a deal is reached between Hollywood producers and striking writers. In addition to being the showrunner, he voices the characters Peter and Stewie Griffin. He walked out on the show with 3 other showrunners and told the industry website Deadline the studio has 3 months of scripts and voiceovers. Then it will have to figure out what steps to take next. Actress Mayim Bialik says she's stepping away from her hosting duties on the game show Jeopardy because of the strike. Jeopardy has 1 week of taping left for the season. Those shows are now hosted by Ken Jennings. Writers for the game show are members of the WGA, but their work was done just before the strike began. When we come back, Lionel Richie, you want to go on vacation with him? Stick around. Welcome back to The Lot. Lionel Richie wants you to go on vacation with him. The 3-day Dancing on the Sand trip is November 30th through December 3rd. Guests will be treated to concerts by him, Sheryl Crow, Nile Rodgers, and many others. Tickets are available at dancingonthesand.com. And check this out. The Cheers bar contains some famous autographs from several cast members who carved their names in wood, and now it's up for auction, broken into 3 sections, including the brass railing, the burgundy leatherette bar stools, and the back bar unit from the show. The auction is part of a larger sale of TV memorabilia. Nearly 1,000 pieces are up for sale, including items from classic hit shows like I Love Lucy, Gunsmoke, Breaking Bad, and All in the Family. You can go to Heritage Auctions on kcal.com, and the auction ends in early June. Now, he is the man behind iconic sayings like, "It ain't over till it's over," and Yogi Berra's resume is as powerful as his sayings. He was savvy, commanding, a bad ball-hitting catcher, and D-Day veteran. And The Lot's Jamie Maggio talked to his granddaughter, who hopes a new documentary helps Yogi Berra get his due.
The 2015 All-Star Game features the 4 greatest living baseball players: Hank Aaron, Johnny Bench, Sandy Koufax, and Willie Mays. I'm in the room sitting next to my grandfather, Yogi Berra. And I'm thinking, wait a second. And I look at him and I said, "Are you dead?" And he said, "Not yet." I don't for a second think he should have replaced any of those players, but he should have been on the field with those players because his World Series resume and his stats are, put him very firmly in that group, and he deserved to be out there. But again, folks from this generation kind of don't think of him on that level. And I really hope that the doc makes people just remember truly what a great baseball player he was, but then also the fact that he was a better human being.
One of the greatest World Series resumes of any player ever.
Hey, he got it done. He was a winner because he had all the rings to prove it.
He's the figure that was larger than life. When Yogi comes to the team, they say he doesn't look like a Yankee.
He wasn't 6'3" with blonde hair. Everything about him was kind of funny.
What do you hope people will take away from this film?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I think people will take away that, sometimes good guys finish first, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's a real uplifting film, it's a real true, without being too simplistic, it's a true American story. The son of Italian immigrants, he went off and, he had a Yankee contract in hand, but he went off and raised his right hand and decided to go off to World War II and serve time in the Navy and actually was part of the D-Day invasion, and then came back and then met Carm and had a wonderful, romance there while breaking into the Yankees. There's nobody who's had that kind of lasting, impact on the game in a way, especially as a catcher.
The Yogi-isms. Let's talk about the Yogi-isms.
He said nobody goes to that restaurant anymore. It's too crowded.
When you get to a fork in the road, take it. What?
And it ain't over till it's over.
It makes a lot of sense.
One of the main points we're trying to hit is that as great as my grandfather was as a baseball player on the field, that supersized personality of his and the Yogi-isms kind of overshadowed everything. What I think is just so incredible is that there's so many records that he set, most notably World Series records, and then the crazy physical things like 148 game errorless streak and catching both ends of doubleheaders 117 times in his career. Like, no catcher today would go out and catch 18 innings even once. And that I just think is amazing. Like, given how far the game has come and the advancements in strength and conditioning and whatnot, you don't see guys catching as many games or for the number of innings that Grandpa caught. It would be unheard of today.
Looks really touching. Meanwhile, after 14 seasons, NCIS Los Angeles is concluding Sunday night with a finale celebrating new beginnings. And afterwards, CBS presents a salute to NCIS Los Angeles, an Entertainment Tonight special at 10 p.m. on CBS and streaming live and on demand on Paramount Plus. Stars of this long-running drama reflected on the show's legacy.
I remember the first day of filming, we were in Venice. It was Todd and I, and kind of realizing, yeah, okay, this may actually work here. This feels like there's some chemistry. A new office, huh?
Yep. Now you're on a list of the longest running shows in the history of American television.
And to be successful at a high level for 14 years, come on, that's beautiful.
It's good enough for me. Give the green light to both teams to go.
Season 14 is the culmination of some really thoughtful character arcs and dynamics that pay off in a really fulfilling way. Baby, talk to me. You're scaring me. Who's on the phone?
I think at the core of our show is family and people that love each other and have each other's backs.
These characters have been doing this for so long, and so much of their life is taken up by saving other people. So I think it's deserving that you finally get to focus on them.
I would not be here today if it wasn't for you.
No, you would not. I had fun, man. You know what I'm saying? I had fun.
Everybody came to work. Given that, you then have the luxury to have fun. And this show had fun for 14 years.
Specific number.
I'm a specific man.
Just when you spend that much time with somebody and that many shared experiences, it's a bond that grows very strong.
God, I love you.
What's not to love?
I thank you for riding with NCIS Los Angeles all these years.
It's a surreal day. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude.
Thank you for letting us entertain you for 14 years.
We'll be seeing you again at some point, I'm sure. So thanks for tuning in.
And can't wait to see them again. That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for watching. And Baltimore, thanks for joining us. A special welcome to you all. I'm Suzanne Marquez. See you again next week on The Lot.